Hello everyone, welcome back to the Traxion YouTube channel and welcome to week 3 of my fixed Ferrari track guide series here on iRacing. Now, I know things look a little bit different. I'm kind of in between rigs right now, but it's really cool to be able to say that I'm using my partner Julie's rig to make this track guide. So thank you, Julie, for letting me use it. So week 3 brings us to Lime Rock Park. Not many people's favourite circuit to race GT3, and not mine either, but it can be done and sometimes you can have fun. So if you followed my track guides before, you'll know that they are not a place for hot laps. It's a slow, methodical approach to learn the circuit where I talk about my braking markers, my reference points, and the little quirks that each circuit has. So as usual, I'll show you the flying lap in full, then we'll jump in the car, show you my braking markers and reference points in action. We'll also cover pit entry and pit exit, and also at the end where I think you might be able to get an overtake done here at Lime Rock Park. So, enough talking, let's get on track. So here we are then on the main straight here at Lime Rock Park. So as usual, we've set the sim time to match the official series. So it's the 2nd of October 2021 and the time in the sim is 13:45. We're also using the iRacing sprint setup, which is what is used in the official series. Brake bias this week, we've gone for 53.7. Out of the box, it's 54.1, so we've just gone down a couple of clicks. There are lots of places here where we're trail braking, so a nice stable car will pay dividends. Track temperature, 37 degrees when you saw the flying lap and right now. So Lime Rock Park, everybody's favourite in a GT3, not such a difficult place to overtake. So grid position and qualifying is super, super important. So going down to turn number 1, we want the car over to the left hand side, and I brake in between the 3 and the 2 boards, and what I do is I aim it straight for the apex that you can see there. So I angle the car at this first apex and I let the car run wide. I do trail brake down to 3rd gear here at this point. We're trail braking, the car runs out wide. And then this is called Big Bend, but I actually treat it as 2 turns. Then down to 2nd, and then we cut this curb on the exit and get on the gas fully for the run down to the only left-hander really on the circuit apart from the small chicane. So braking marker here, there are some tyre marks that you can see on the road surface just there right in front of the car there. That's what I use as my braking marker. So we're round about in the middle of the circuit, we're braking just after those. Down to 2nd gear, and we're apexing this one really, really late, kind of round about here. As soon as we get to this point, we're back on the gas. Short shift to 3rd, and then a little lift, and then back on the gas. And it's really important here at this point to try and release the angle on the steering as early as you can, because it will oversteer if you do have too much steering angle on there. Then a run down to this horrible chicane with the landmines on the right and the left. Now this is what I use as my braking marker here. Tyre mark on the road surface, that doesn't change, that stays where it is. So first couple of laps, nice and easy, just a little bit before the tyre marker. But on a flying lap, round about the tyre marker, we're braking all the way down to 1st gear. We're going to try and use as much of this curb on the left hand side as we can, because we want to open up this right, because we want to get on the gas as early as we possibly can here. So we're going to be turning in quite late, and then a short shift to 2nd at this point before we get on the gas. and then you can pretty much stamp on the accelerator all the way up here. When you get up here, you keep turning right, because if you don't, you'll hit the curb and you might lose a little bit of momentum. Now, this is a really tricky one as far as braking markers goes. But on the left-hand side there, you can see there is one small tree. There's all the big ones, and then there's one small tree that's a bit lighter in colour. You can use that as your braking marker. After a few laps, it will become second nature where you need to brake. But at first, you can use that as your braking marker. As soon as that goes out of your peripheral vision, it's just about to go out there now. There, it's gone. Then we can get on the brakes. Third gear. Nice and gentle to the apex. Try not to touch the curb on the inside, because that does unsettle the car. They get on the gas, they run all the way out wide, up to fourth gear, down the hill. And then we're just lifting off the throttle, turning in at the bottom of the hill there, just as the car bottoms, and get on the gas at the apex really hard. Let the car run out wide. There's lots of downforce at this point, so you can actually go a lot quicker through there than you think you can. Right, so we'll start to pick up the pace a little bit now. So we're looking between the 3 and the 2. We're going to be braking, aiming for this first apex. The car will run out wide. Let it run out wide, it's fine. Down to second, and then we'll want to cut it back for this one across this curb. Then up to third, looking for those tyre marks. There they are. Braking down to second. Apex this one really late. Then get on the gas now. Short shift to third. Lift. Back on the gas. Try and wind off the steering. If you don't, the car will oversteer. Looking for the tyre mark here. There it is. So we're braking there down to first gear. Turning in late. Short shift to second. Then get on the gas. Watch the curb on the left. Looking for the small tree, there it is. Braking just to the apex, then get on the gas. Let the car run all the way out wide. To fourth, turning in the dip there, just at the bottom of the hill, but then get on the gas. And then that's a lap, really short, 50 seconds, that's all. So between the 3 and the 2, down to third gear, let the car run out wide. Down to second gear, and cut this apex on the exit. Look for the tyre marks, there they are. Braking down to second gear, apex this one really late. Short shift to third, a little lift, and then we're back on the gas. Braking the tyre mark, down to first gear, then short shift to second. Don't touch those curbs, those landmines, because there's a good chance you'll spin. So trail brake to the apex, then back on the accelerator here. Into fourth, turn in at the dip, then accelerate. So that's a nice steady lap of Lime Rock Park. 50.67. It's going to be in the top split, I guess. It's going to be high 49s, low 50s, something like that. In the flying lap, it was pretty much a 50 flat, so that's probably where it's going to be in the top split. Right, let's have a look at pit entry and pit exit. So pit entry here at Lime Rock Park is actually quite challenging, especially if you want to try and get in there quickly and gain some time. But there is a safer option, and we'll show you that now. So we're going to be coming around here just as normal, fourth gear on a normal flying lap, but as soon as we get around here we need the car pointing over to the pit entry point. Now it's really important here, if you're battling with somebody, let them know early that you're going to be going in the pits, so make sure that you can get yourself back over to the right hand side. Now it's a really short pit entry here, so we're going to be approaching it here, but as soon as we get to this point here, before we get to the pit lane, we're going to be hard on the brakes. Now enter the pits where these broken yellow lines are, otherwise you'll get a penalty. Hard on the brakes, pit limiter on all the way down here, and then in, and there's the yellow cone. That is where you need to be under 56 kilometers an hour. Really tricky. Now I'll try and show you that now on a flying lap. Right, so simulate a pit entry now. So it's a normal flying lap. The tyres aren't up to temperature, but it should be fine. So just a normal lap, fourth gear, turn in at the bottom, but we need the car over to the right. So we'll need to be aiming here, pit limiter on, get on the brakes. And there, there's not much room to manoeuvre there. You need to get on the brakes just before you enter the pit road. Pit exit, relatively easy, green cone, nothing to worry about, apart from other cars that are on a flying lap. Now, as soon as you get out of pit lane, there's the blue cone. You're pretty much on the racing line and where people are going to turn in for turn number 1. So stay to the right of the yellow line. There's the blue cone where you can exit the pit lane area, but you're not going to be moving over to the left if there's cars there. This is pretty much where people are going to be turning in. So that's my only advice for pit exit here at Lime Rock Park, is make sure you keep an eye on your relative and don't pull out in front of oncoming traffic. Right, let's talk about where I think we might be able to get an overtake done here at Lime Rock. Now, overtaking at Lime Rock Park, as I mentioned at the beginning, really difficult. That's why track position and qualifying is so important. But it can be done. It can be done. As long as you're racing with somebody who races clean, you can do it. So, turn number 1, yes, you can get up the inside, turn number 1, but if you don't get the inside line going into turn number 1, there's a chance you may be able to switch it back for this turn here. But if you can't, think about the exit, because I've made quite a few overtakes, getting a good exit out of this turn and making a move up the inside going into this left-hander. But like I mentioned, you've got to be racing with somebody who's not going to chop your nose off. But round here, yeah, too wide, it can be done. But if somebody holds the outside line, then you're probably going to have to concede going into the chicane at the bottom, which is, again, another good overtaking place. But if somebody defends, then your chances of an overtake on entry are very, very slim. So you've got to think about the exit. So if somebody is defending into the chicane, think about your exit, because they're going to be compromised, their speed's going to be down, and this is where you're going to try and make a move up here into this right-hander. Can be done, but it's not easy. It really isn't easy. But you can go too wide around there. I don't like going too wide around the final turn. But again, this is another great place to set something up, so you can put somebody under pressure, compromise their line coming out of the turn, and try and get alongside going into turn number 1 down the inside. Not easy at Lime Rock Park, but it can be done. So there we go, that's Lime Rock Park done. Please let me know down below in the comments how you get on. What were your lap times before the guide? What were your lap times after? Did I help? Did I cover everything you wanted to be covered in a track guide? Next week, we go to the Hockenheimring, which is more like it. Good luck this week. Keep it pinned. See you later. Cheers.